It is. It's cool that we can see that.
Welcome to CPG Vibes. No scripts,
just chat.
I'm Alex Baer.
And I'm Wade Yenny.
Each episode is recorded live, and we talk all things food and beverage, and so much more.
Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review.
If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com.
Now, let's vibe. Welcome to CPG Vibes number 122. This is Wade Yenny, and this is not Alex Baer. This is Mark Samuel. Mark, how are you?
Good day, sir.
Good day. Good to have you. So if you're joining us, if you're a regular viewer, Mr. Baer, Alex is working behind the scenes today. He's a little under the weather, so he did one of these. Mm-hmm. He called in the relief pitcher, and yep. Mark, I appreciate you jumping on. How have you been?
I'm doing good.
Good?
Yeah,
good.
I'm doing good. How have you been? Like I told you offline, when he called, it was a quick thing. I really wasn't planning this. I wanted to get a little extra sun today, meaning like I get a little extra walk today. But You know what? I said I haven't talked to Wade in a while, and I owe Alex a little favor. Let's get this done.
Let's do this. All right. Well, let me get through the formalities first and talk about our sponsors. We've got 2 ongoing sponsors. One is Range Me. Range Me helps brands drive awareness engagement with retailers through an easy-to-use platform that has more than 15,000 buyers. Listeners can get discounts on Range Me Premium and Pro subscriptions, which includes benefits such as direct product submissions to retailers, access to Nielsen IQ category data, and even in-person meetings with buyers at ECRM sessions. So for more details, you can visit rangeme.com/CPGvibes, or you can just scan that handy barcode that's in the bottom corner there of the screen, the QR code. The second ongoing sponsor is my new company, Mark, which I'm sure we'll have a little chat about, is V-Driven. V-Driven is a leading consulting and brand management firm specializing in strategic guidance, brand representation for emerging and mid-sized CPG brands. We offer services from direct sales to key national retailers, CPG accounting, deduction management. We deliver tangible solutions for brands to achieve their full potential. And we understand the importance of cash flow to your business. That's why we're offering a 25% discount for the first month of your services to CPG brands. All you need to do is go to www.v-driven.com/schedule-a-call, or just go to vdriven.com. You'll figure it out, or message me, what have you. Mention CPG Vibes. We'll get it done. Beyond that, we want to encourage you to, I'm going to try and multitask here, Mark. Let's see if this works. Sure. Encourage you to look at our Slack channel, and I'll put that in the chat. We want to encourage you to look at, let me get all my bells and whistles here. We are in the number 1 rated CPG podcast. There's the links for the podcast. And we also have a YouTube channel. So I think once I get this in here, we are ready to roll. So let's see. If I missed anything, we'll figure it out later. I'm sure Alex behind the scenes will hit me up. So, Mark, anyways, we were talking. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
I want to ask you, I'm going to ask you a bunch of stuff, and we'll just go back and forth. We'll figure it out. So I want to ask you just in general, right? I mean, your LinkedIn obviously has been a terrific platform for you. It's just going all over the place. What's your strategy? Do you have one? Is it just, I mean, some days it's, it's a selfie. Some days it's, and I want to talk about a little bit more about this too, about poking the bear, some of the big boys in the CPG space. Some days it's kids. Some days it's the hardships. What is their strategy? Go for it.
It's a good question. And it's not like it's never been asked, right? From the beginning, whether it's a few years ago when really kind of getting into it. But the reality is I've been doing this now for like 6 years. It's hard to think how quickly that came. I think just for perspective here, like there's early 2000. Remember that, 2000? Like that's 4 years ago. Remember what happened about that? That's 4 years ago. I had to sit on that like a few days ago. I thought about that. It doesn't feel like 4 years ago. Remember all that? And so I was really in the swing of it there. So here's the thing. It's a good topic right now because of how I feel. And I think people will understand this and you'll have a comment to it. Over the last few weeks, what I've really found myself sort of sitting in is this influx of where am I going with this and what am I doing and why am I doing it? And why it's become so prominent now is there have been a few things that I've done where, by the way, I've always reminded people everything is off the cuff. I've never pre-written anything. I've never posted something twice before, which people commonly do. They like to look back at what worked. I've always written original content, always. And so that sometimes is a good and bad thing. I also have never deleted anything. I'm really big on the idea that whatever's coming out of my mouth is going to stay there because it is what it is. And trust, there's been a few times after I've hit send, I go, I don't know if I should have done that. Now, case in point, and you may have seen it. Like I wrote about this kid, Mr. Beast, recently, and it lit up a fire. People who really know me know where it's coming from. I don't know that guy. I don't even care, right? I know who he is, what he's done, where he sits in a position. And I was in the store and I thought it was kind of funny that the guy is standing there with a big cheese ball smile holding up. And I just thought that's a really great topic. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing to ourselves, right? And people don't necessarily understand, or maybe they love this or they don't like it. I respect every comment. Some of them were like, they dug at me, like personally. Whatever. I can't do anything about that. Those that know me know I don't have any ill will. I'm just giving like honest opinion commentary on stuff. So to go to the original question, I just want to write about things that I believe we should be talking about. Some of it will be very easy to digest. Some of it will not. And in short, no, I don't believe I'm going to turn this down at all. I sort of said it, and I think it's funny on the calling in the reliever. I've mentioned this a few times. I haven't even taken off the warm-up jacket yet. I'm still in the friggin' bullpen, Wade. I'm in the friggin' bullpen, and
warming up.
You could be doing this. I haven't even taken off the friggin' jacket yet. I'm just warming up. And it's not a threat. It's not like I'm better than it. I just want us talking about really important things that need to be brought to life. It's that simple.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the passion. And anybody that knows you knows that it's coming from your heart, and no filter, right? That's what we're all about here. No script, just chat. So, but I want to touch on that a little bit because you talk about you reference Mr. Beast, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't speak to who else you've talked about recently. Some of the other big players, right? Whether it's Kellogg's, whoever. I just named someone, I don't know.
Nestle. I made
Nestle,
a couple posts about Nestle,
whoever,
and a couple were back to back but it was just so happens. But go ahead.
So, have you had any scuttlebutt back from any of these people? I mean, obviously, there's the give and take from your community and people underneath, and typically, more often than not, those people are supportive. But is there anybody that is, pushed back from some of those big boys? You're poking the bear, and I know you're not afraid to do it, but has there been any backlash from any of those people?
I've had some comments from people who work for the company, and I totally respect that because I think that's a good thing. I think there needs to be a conversation about what it is that I'm bringing up. I still believe those companies and those people that work for them, they don't have ill will. There are a few things I pointed out. I think some of the higher up folks are a little tone deaf. I mean, I have to say it. When I had brought up the thing about Nestle making these new, okay, yeah. So there's quotes that are pulled from those like that are the CEO where they're just tone deaf. They don't even know what they're saying. And and a lot of the times I understand what they're doing. They could even be sitting there on CNBC. They have a really hard place to live in an organization like that. It's gigantic, number one. Number two is they are highly paid to be saying the right things for who? Shareholders. They have to be saying the right things for their shareholders, not necessarily what really may be in their heart of hearts. Like, do they go home and serve that to their own kids? That's a question mark. So, in short, yes, I've had a few conversations. I always want to keep it above level as far as just goodwill, right? We're just talking, we're having great conversations. And I think that there are probably thousands of amazing human beings that work for these companies. And many of them are conflicted. And so that's my response to it.
Right. If you see me looking over here, I've got another screen and I'm trying to see chats. For some reason, I'm not seeing our chats over here. But so I want to ask you a question, and I'm going to preface it before I ask you the question. Because a lot of times you have pictures of your kids, adorable, by the way. Is it okay? I want to ask you. It's not necessarily personal. Your kids are elementary aged, right? Give or take, right? They're not in middle school yet. They're elementary. Elementary. I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm guessing their peers at school, are their peers at school eating some of this stuff? And if so, what do your kids come home and say, oh, so-and-so said this, why don't you have this, or why are you eating that? Is there any of that going back? And if so, and I know you're bringing your kids up, I see the workout pictures in the gym and all that stuff. How are they responding if that happens?
You'll love this. You'll love this answer. Of course they're eating it. Everybody is. And I live in Marin County. If anybody knows, I live in Northern California. This is what a lot of people, it's on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. There's some affluent folks here, right? Like they have plenty of choice. This isn't about, can I not buy this versus that? It's proven in the data. We all buy this shit. I don't know. We all do. We all do. Do you understand how many cases of Frito-Lays are sold? I don't care if they're sold in Marin County, California, or in a deep metropolitan area, right? Or in the inner city. They're selling caseloads to everybody. So my answer would be this. I give my kids some of this stuff too. This isn't like I'm better than you. It's not about that. It's about, let's talk about it. Let's make sure we're educating our kids so that they understand what they're eating and why they're eating it, so that they can then make better decisions, right? Better decisions. What is that food? What does it do to me? What does that candy do? What is that? What is cane sugar? What is corn syrup? What are carbohydrates, right? And so, in short, they're all eating it. I've seen these lunch pails, and even in my house, they want Cheerios. Let's go get some Cheerios. But they understand when I make a bowl, there isn't 4 cups in the bowl, right? When I pour the milk, I say, this is where the goodness comes from. Sorry, milk haters. This is, you get it anyway. So yeah. It's about educating.
I love it. That's excellent. I'm seeing some of the comments. I'm trying to. This is different for me because usually I'm copy and paste, and Alex is driving. And if you're just joining us, Alex is under the weather today, so we called in our relief pitcher, pinch hitter. I don't know. I'll probably call him 10 different things before the end of the show, as long as I don't call him something bad. But Rich Monas, we just started my 5-year-old daughter in T-ball. The snacks the parents bring for after the game is absolute trash. Doritos and Cheetos almost every other game. You know what's interesting, and I want to talk. We're going to go off the rails, but you talk about one. I have every social network. I have everything, right? I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, I've got all that stuff. And I hardly ever post anything on those. But one of the most the thing that I use more than anything is it's an app called Time Hop, and it you connect your pictures in your phone to it. You connect all this stuff. So every day you can go back and see what you were doing a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So you mentioned what we were doing 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, almost to the day, not quite. I could be off a little bit. I was relocating from Louisiana to California. And we drove through San Antonio. My car broke down, blah, blah, blah. Coincidentally, I'm going back to San Antonio for a trip next week. Anyways, I digress. It's amazing to me. So I've been out of the conventional side of the business since I left Louisiana. I was in conventional in Ohio. I was in conventional Louisiana, Jimbo's in California, Fresh Market. So I've been out of conventional for, call it, 5 years now. But 4 years, right? Whatever. Anyhow, I'm amazed when we go shopping in the nearest grocery store to us. I don't know, Mark, if you're familiar with it. It's a chain called Lowe's Food Stores. They're big here in the South. They do an excellent job, by the way. I really, really like the job they do. But there's one within walking distance from my house. The walking trail that I walk every day, I can be there in 15 minutes. But I was shocked the one day when I looked at the chip aisle, the prices on some of those Frito-Lay items, where they were with what my recollection was. I mean, it's like, in my mind, it's overnight. It's been 4 years, but in my mind, I'm like, there's like $1, there's like $2 more a bag than they used to be. Are you, I mean, I know you're not buying it yourself, but do you see that? What's your take on that? Because, the old game, when I was in conventional, you'd see the shrinkflation, right? They're changing their ounces from 9.5 to 9 or 8.5 or something like that. But it's, we used to sell every major holiday. You had Lay's buy one, get one. You had, for Super Bowl, you had Doritos, Tostitos, whatever. But those prices now are like a bag of, they're like $5.49 for a bag now. I mean, what do you think? Do you see it?
I find that a coincidence that you asked. I have a picture yesterday when I was in Safeway, because at first I was taking the photo because it was buy two, get two, things like that. Again, when I talk about posting, I'm like, that's a good topic, right?
Nice.
It was buy two, get two for Doritos, big case stack, right in the front. And I was like, wow, see, they're just giving it away. But I noticed what their regular price was. Now, mind you, it was a 9-ounce bag. I couldn't even tell. I had to pull it out. Right. But it was like 6 something. And I found that to be, it's funny you bring that up. I found that to be really interesting. Now, I don't know enough because I don't follow them enough as far as walking that aisle and really looking where they go every week or which store, right, whether it's, what's conventional versus the other. But I do know they have hiked it up. And it would bring up the good question of, then why are they still buying it? Other than in this case, somebody just walked out with 4 bags, right? So they're gonna, they got hopefully like a couple weeks worth of product in there, right? But I don't know why, if they are doing those slow price hikes, we aren't having more customers moving to other truly better for you. I don't like throwing that name around, but just truly better for you options that are out there. What my guess is that it's because they're just so locked into those products.
Right.
A Frito, I'll leave you with, and you'll understand this. For an I1, I didn't understand this or discover it until some years ago, but we would never try to convert a Frito-Lay buyer ever.
Right.
Like, why can't I get the guy or gal who buys Doritos to just buy I1? Because they'll never buy I1.
Right.
They love Doritos. So leave them alone.
Right.
The people who we want are those that are already shopping the outer perimeter of the store and are looking for something inner store that they could eat. Well, here's an option, right? I talk openly about it. Like, I talk openly. I'd prefer you just to stay on the outer store. Don't eat any snacks. Sorry. Sorry, just being honest. If you need to, here's an option for you that is better than 90 3% of the other options that are in that inner store. So there's a lot of info off the back of your original question.
I love it. I love it. So I want to go back. We had a comment up here from Sean Berg. He said with SMB sales and marketing, he said DSD chips are higher than those that come from KE and UNFI now. And I believe that. I really believe that's true. I mean, when you look at now, that being said, I mean, strategically, you look at the pre-priced bags on all those Frito-Lay products, it's $4.99, $5, whatever the number is, right? More often than not, you're never going to see that regular retail. It's going to be on a 4-week TPR at 2 for $8 instead of $4.99. It's going to be on a buy one get one, like you said, buy two get one, whatever it is. But he's exactly right. I think that's a pretty accurate statement at this point. And then we had a comment from my buddy Gavin. I know you know Gavin. He wants to know if you eat Oreos or ice cream, and ever is it ever? I mean, do you ever have cheat? Never,
ever.
Nothing.
Right. But it's not. I don't. You know me when I talk about. I don't. It's not a big deal. People should. I'm big on the 80-20 rule. Most recently, this last year or so, I'm much more closer to like 95-5. And so that 5, like when I'll take a photo of me, you know, at In-N-Out with my son, like that's my 5%.
That's your cheat. That's your cheat. Yeah.
Yeah. But so this is the thing. I don't call it cheat, right? Like that's the stuff that I want us to all start talking about. Hey, Mark, what's your cheat meal? Fuck a cheat meal. There's no such thing as that. It's how do you live? What's your lifestyle? I prefer eating whole foods as often as possible. Right here, I'm in my office. I brought my lunch. It's some chicken, right? And it's like that because I feel better. And I just want to talk to people about it so that they know. And then that other small percentage, when people live that lifestyle, do what you want to do. Go get he's asking, do you want to go get the Oreo? Go get the, I'll tell you this, after you get into the better habits of eating those better for you foods, preferably whole foods, you sort of don't want that other stuff anymore because it makes you feel like shit. Your body is super sensitive when you treat it right. It's like alcohol, like me, but like I can't drink it. I can't drink anymore because as I slowly weaned off of it, the minute I would try to have some, my body was saying, don't do that, dude. And I'm blessed because some of us don't get that, but I'm blessed that it's doing that to me because now I don't want it. Besides the fact that I'm a psychopath that's for another episode. Anyway,
that's fantastic. I'm trying to keep up with some of these comments over here. I know Alex is popping some up. Again, if you're just joining us, Alex is under the weather, but he's behind the scenes putting all this stuff up here for us. Let's see. We got Robert Kogan, friend of the show. Coke, Pepsi did heavy price increases early 2024. We'll talk about that too. Some mass chains revolted. Potato chips, it was a big story. They left, eventually came back. There are 1,000 brands waiting in the wings before a healthy brand would replace them. And that's probably true. Coke and Pepsi, the same thing, right? The pricing aspect. So when I left conventional, I was running it, again, it's a driver. The people that are buying there, I mean, you show me a conventional ad that at least once a month doesn't either have Frito-Lay or a CSD on the front page. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be shocked, right? So the prices, though, a hot price for a holiday ad for CSD in Ohio when I left was, I don't know, it was starting to creep up, right? Costs are going up, cans, all that stuff. It was probably, I don't know, 3, and they were the ones in my mind that started the whole buy get. If it wasn't the CSD, it was Kraft Heinz or Kellogg's Keebler with or Mondelez, whoever's in there, with buy 5, save 5, or buy this, and trying to get you to buy more. CSD was famous for what I call must buy, where, here's your price, but in order to get this price, you have to buy 5 packages, right? You have to buy a month's worth of soda, right, to get it. And those prices now are ridiculous. So a price 3 for $10, get 1 free. So it ends up being 4 for $10 or something like that. But now those prices I mean, like a 12-pack of, we call it pop. I don't know if you call it soda, whatever you call it. 12-pack of pop is like, I don't know, like $7.99, some ridiculous number. I mean, it's crazy. You can almost not quite get a kombucha or something like that. It's just all over the place. It's amazing. Just
I
crazy.
would again say that then would support just what we all know, which is power of brand, right? Power of brand and power of product. Like I don't, for anybody who has had one, let's say drinks Coke, every once in a while, if I'm in a really I need something sweet, I have no problem. I've said this before, and I know what's in it. I know what's in it more than most folks. I will have like a Coke Zero, the kind that's like in the fountain. Maybe I'm at Chipotle. Shout out Chipotle. By the way, I'm still waiting on that offer. I don't. It is what it is, right? It's the power of the brand and the product. There will never not be Coca-Cola ever.
No,
People need to. Okay. Now, so the Olipop's of the world, right? And this goes back into the pricing thing where you were about to go, which is like I've seen a kombucha, let's say, for $3. It's like, why aren't we? Why aren't we going for the other item then? Or like the sparkling ice, they sent me a bunch of stuff. I think it's a great product, right? It's at least better. Or when I like Zevia, fantastic product, right? Why aren't we? It's right there. It's next to it. But what are we? It's because people who love Coca-Cola are always going to love Coca-Cola.
Right.
It's that simple. Last one, and because I saw a few. By the way, I'm seeing the comments. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Energy drinks, right? So people ask me all the time, like, do you do energy? I don't, because in my pre-workout, right? Shout out Transparent Labs. I work out early in the morning, first thing in the morning. So I take I get my caffeine from that. Very rarely, every so often, it'll be middle of the day, and I'll kind of feel it goes back to my sweet tooth thing. I'll kind of want something sweet instead of all the water I drink. And maybe I'll want 100 milligrams of caffeine. So what I'll do is I'll go and like a Ghost, fantastic flavors of energy drinks. I buy one and I'll drink like maybe a half because they kind of upset me or whatever. Maybe I spent like $4 the other day. It was $4. Right. And the same thing was happening with me, which is the discussion you're saying. Things are expensive, right? Things are expensive. So what are we doing? Where are our choices coming from? They're just coming from bad habits. And as I talk about, and as I'll continue to show, we have really bad habits, and they've gotten worse since the 60s. And the charts, I don't like saying things like this. The data. I don't fuck the data. I'm just telling you what the facts are. Okay. The charts show us, they prove we are going in the wrong direction when it comes to choices. And it's not going to get it's not going to get any better unless we talk about it and teach the next generation, our kids. That's why when last piece, when people were like, you're blaming Mr. Beast, it's the parents' responsibility. It's everybody's. Right. It's Mr. Beast who has a foothold on kids. And most importantly, yes, I wasn't going to refute it. It's the parents. It's us. We need to tell them, teach them, show them, be what we want them to be. Sorry, rant over.
No, you're good. Mr. Beast, Prime. Yeah, enough said. We're going to reset real quick. We're halfway through. Time's flying. I'm having a good time. Thank you, Mark, from I1 from joining the show. And if you're just joining us again, Alex is out sick. Mark has stepped in not only as our relief pitcher, but he's also going to This Arm too. And he's also going to be our sponsor today and give away some product. We'll figure out what it is. We're going to ask a question about something that we're talking about. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll figure it out. And you're going to get some I1 product at the end. We'll figure it out. Excuse me. I want to talk about our sponsors again one time. Ongoing sponsors, V-Driven, and which is my new company. We should talk a little bit about that. And Range Me, the Range Me link is in the bottom. V-Driven, if you both of those, you get a discount. Range Me, scan the QR code. V-Driven, just message me, email me, text me, whatever. We'll talk. And because it's something that I'm really excited about what I'm doing now. So I want to talk a little bit about, we've talked about health and all that stuff. Let's talk about CPG. Let's talk about business. You've been very transparent about your journey. You've shared stories about, mistakes you've made, products, that didn't go well, retailers you've gone into. Give us the state of I1 and your business now. Where are you? What are your goals for the back half of the year? Looking ahead at 2025, what are you doing? I mean, I know you've got the new product, which is fantastic. I crushed a bag myself. When you sent them to me, they're ridiculously good. And I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. I told you that. I think it's the best product you've ever made. Not pulling any punches. I really do. And I've had your granola when you were making that. I had the cereal when you were making that, puffs, sticks, whatever. The new stuff, in my opinion, is the best stuff that you made yet. So where are you? Give us a state of the union. What's up?
Thank you. We are hanging on by a string. And we have been for 2 years. We are very blessed in that we are getting a national rollout for Whole Foods in September, and it will be our 4 best products, 2 of which are the crisps that you tried. Mm-hmm. So I never mind saying this because I always talk in sort of the truth, right? We have to prove that out for us to really showcase whether or not we have something. And many could look back and go, yeah, I know, but haven't you been trying to do that in 7 years? Yeah, I can write the book on it, the ups, downs, and arounds. But what's beautiful is, and it's by God's grace, is that we've gotten to this point where we finally got the activation, waited 5 years for it, by the way. We've been in some regions with a couple products and whatever maybe, but this is all 510 stores with our 4 best. They're going to get brand blocked right underneath a couple other brands that we know we should be competing with. I don't mind saying that, but meaning in the set that we should be in, which is there's a set within the salty snacks that's for, what I consider truly better for you, maybe some protein call outs and the like. And so we look forward to that. We just did our packaging design. We just moved to no seed oil across all of the products. We just launched this new innovation, which we're bullish about. So we get to put best foot forward into what we believe is going to showcase that we do have something. And this is going to sound wild. After 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, if we don't, to be continued. But I'll leave you with this. I won't like what I will have to do or what I'd have to say or how I will position things if we can't showcase what I just described, because the Whole Foods customer is our customer. So when people like to throw around a lot of the buzzwords, market fit and all this other stuff, well, this is true market fit. And so with everything that I just described right in the hands of our customer, if they are not buying and most importantly, rebuying over and over and over again, then we have a problem. One that's probably not quote unquote fixable. Right. And I would be okay with that after what will be 8 years into this thing.
And we've had some comments come in about how good the crisps are with I have to look. David Delcourt, Alex is chiming in. I want to ask a little bit about the chips, but before I do, I want to talk a little bit about my company, V-Driven, right? I joined there. This is the end of my second week. I'm having a great time. Our founder, CEO, Luke Abbott, and myself were on yesterday. We did what's called a master class, and we talked about retailer ROI and deduction management and how to maximize profitability. It's things that you've talked about. You've been very transparent, shared all this stuff. And you talked about something, you just touched on it, which kind of triggered me that I wanted to talk a little bit about V-Driven anyways, is something that Luke preaches and has instilled in the company and all the brands that we work with is the hypothesis, right? We're essentially a brand incubator, right? You come to us, you're starting, we're going to help you get feedback in the retailers. We're not going to try and put you in Sprouts nationwide on the shelf tomorrow or Whole Foods nationwide tomorrow. That's not what our road to success is. It's to go to the smaller Southern California and go to those core customers, build some velocity, tell some stories, and then just kind of stair step it up, right? So Thank you, Wally. Great workshop yesterday. We had a good time with that. So that being said, with your Chris, how you brought him, you developed them. You're certainly not just starting them in Whole Foods. What did you do? What was your first step? How did you get things rolling?
Well, actually, off the back of something that you were part of, the Fresh Market is the one who's really launching it, and we're launching it. We're shipping out to them next week.
Market.
So yes, and that was again a blessing, and we like that. We like that retailer too. It'll be a really great test. Right. And no, it sort of is we had just enough off of a first production to get in the hands of a bunch of people. I know this sounds odd. Most founders who are super objective and really honest with themselves know whether or not a product is good or not. I know that's kind of wild to say. I know, but I gave it to my mommy and she fucking.
I'm not going to cut you off, but I am. Yeah. So I tell people a lot of times, like, nobody wants to hear that their baby's ugly.
Yes.
Right? Nobody wants to hear that. But you have to get past the point that it's your mom, it's your neighbor, your cousin, your best friend, whatever, right? If you're getting feedback from those people, at some point, you have to step outside and talk to the people who are going to tell you your baby's ugly. Sorry, it is. It sucks. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that out there.
Yes, you need to talk to those people, but I do go back to sort of the original position, which is, if it's good or not. I go as far as saying, I truly don't believe in food and beverage. The product is subjective. I just don't. There are some one-offs. I'll even be the first. When I tried kombucha many years ago, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know what was happening here. But seriously, in today's age, with what we consider to be just standardized, conventional-esque, not retailer, but just conventional products, chips and bars and this and that, like, just try it. Does it taste good? Does it have a good mouthfeel? Do you mind bringing it to your kid's school and leaving it on the teacher's desk and knowing that they're going to be happy that you did that, or that it's just going to piss them off worse than your kid being in their class as it already is? Rewind that, folks, so you can understand what I just said. I'm just telling you, that's how I look at it. Then, of course, you can do what you should do, which is now going back to your original question. We threw them on Amazon, and we have a 4.5 star across all of our products. The ones we currently have, our puffs or sticks, and the new Crisp, when we got them on there, they were at 4.9. We've never had that before. Actually, I don't know many products that had that. Now, we're not talking across 1,000 reviews like our puffs and sticks yet, but in the first 60, 70 reviews. And what a lot of people don't know, many don't know, is that it's true reviews. You do not know these people. So long you aren't telling all your friends to go on there and buy it and put the review. I'm talking about be carte blanche, throw it on there and let 70, 80, 100, 200 people who do not know you from Adam and who could care less about how you're going to feel about their comment, give it to them and let them write about it. And remember, you will get 5 times more negative reviews than a positive one. It's just how the math works when it comes to reviewing. A lot more angry folks are out there trying to than the one who wants to tout how great it is. It's just how the world works, unfortunately. Sorry, folks. There you go.
So, all right. So I want to come back to that, but let's get Alex's question on here with regards to lead levels being reported in lesser evil. You have any thoughts on that?
Oh, he's trying to spark it up.
I know he's trying to poke I already talked about poking the bear. Yeah, exactly.
I know. I've said this before. I think I've maybe said it offline. I know Charles. I know Lesser Evil. I know some of the folks inside that building at Lesser Evil. I've been in that building. I've been in the facility, the manufacturing facility. I would eat Lesser. I would give my kids Lesser Evil. That's my position on it. So I will say this, though. If there are higher levels of whatever in a product like that, of which I've seen how they operate and their processes, I'll leave you with a bigger question. It's something I wrote about. What do you think is in 95% of the other bullshit that you're buying? That one you should be thinking about, because I'll remind you, a brand like Lesser Evil, it's a sizable one, and they've got plenty more processes in place than those that you're probably buying today of other products who are far, far smaller.
Right.
There's my comment on it.
All right.
It is what it is.
Good. Well, we had to throw Alex a bone because again, he's not with us because he's under the weather. So we had to throw him a bone there. So going back, you got and Gavin had a comment there. He wanted to ask, and I feel like I know what the answer to this question is, but I'm gonna ask it because Gavin's my buddy. He says, would you ever pay for a 5-star review?
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for a lot less than that, Gavin. You know what I mean? I'll pay for a lot less than that.
Yeah. Anyway. So going back, so you got the feedback. You got the feedback from Amazon with the Chris. Next step. What was next after that? I mean, again, I'm guessing, maybe I'm wrong. I'm guessing you didn't go straight to the Fresh Mart. You've got to have some retailers in SoCal, NorCal, smaller.
Region, what I consider independence, my own backyard.
Right,
I'll do backyard stuff. But two small grocers here. No, it just so happens when we had run that, we only had a small amount. And then right. I have a DSD. Somebody brought up. I have a DSD out east with Rainforest, great company. And so you get early stuff. You know, right. You even want them. You want the guys and gals on the street. Like, go try some, right? But I go back and I'll leave it alone. You know, if you have a good product, you just do. Like, I know that's what sucks sometimes about knowing our journey. I still believe our sticks are one of the best products in the set as far as taste, texture, and nutritional value, right? And we just made a lot of blunders along the way. There's no other way to describe it. And I take all the responsibility. It's me. I fucked up many times, and it is what it is. So all you can do is learn and correct, and don't do it twice. You know what they say. You're the dummy. You know you don't do it, but you already did it. So that's what we're trying to do. And so if you have a good product, and we now believe we have 3 really fantastic products with our best foot forward, and we'll see what happens.
So. price points the same as the sticks, so you can mix and match and all that good stuff.
A little bit lower, because it's 3 ounce, and it's also, this is a big one, and I don't mind saying it also, it's in a new format. So this was on purpose. We went into a stand-up pouch with these crisps. A lot of people don't know it's because we never really had the marketing budget to push it, although I talk about it and it's on the package and everything else. We are a legume-based snack company. So we're one of the few that are organic, and our first ingredient, specifically in the crisps, is green peas, right? So I want to go in that format. Why? There's only a couple other players in that space, one of them being Harvest Snaps, which people know, they're just green pea snaps. I would like to sit on, I don't mind saying it, no offense, it is what it is. Sure, I would like to sit right next to them and let the customer choose. And that's that. And so what I would say is, how big is that market? Well, I know how big it is. I know how big their business is. So I'd like to sit next to them in as many opportunities as possible. And you will hear me start talking about it, especially post this Whole Foods. And I would like to go, and what a lot of people are sensitive about saying, compete. I would like to compete with them. And it is what it is.
What's interesting about that brand specifically is this where you get in, and I'll bore you with this, but this is where you get into the politics of retail grocery at the store corporate level, in that those items oftentimes are a produce item. So they're merchandised in the produce department. They're not merchandised in the snack aisle. Depends on the retailer. Could be wrong, but I oftentimes you'll see Harvest in the produce department because it comes in through a produce DSD. So that could be challenging in its own, but you're not wrong. Yeah. And you're not wrong. And it's top of mind, and it's how will you navigate that if you want to. And there are DSDs specific to quote unquote produce that I'd like to be eventually talking to, because then you would strategize that particular channel with those, and the ones that don't want you to go over there per retailer, you talk up through. Where are we?
Are we sitting next to our other products? Where should we be, and the like? There's a great opportunity to have and lead this sort of legume forward snacking platform. And I'll do it with them. Like they know it. They know it. I've had the conversations with them some years ago with that organization. Hey, let's do it together. Right? You can imagine what I was saying. Let's go lead this charge around legumes. They didn't want to, so we've somehow made it to here, and it is what it is. I've got to do what's best for us in any way that I can, as well as our customers, to provide them an option. Here's an option now. So that's what I want to do.
Okay. You talked a little bit about the mistakes you've made and all the things. I want to know, you're starting over tomorrow. Clean slate, but you have all the knowledge that you've had over these last how many years? What do you do differently, and or what was the biggest mistake you made, and how would you change it if you were starting over tomorrow?
I would never get into this business. I would never get into this business.
Well,
now,
okay, let's say that's an option.
I'm going to put a period there because I want people to understand, because I've said it, that I'm fairly serious, but I'm going to give a caveat here. Ready? Okay. I do enjoy it. I don't know why. I mean, it's because we're crazy. We're psychos.
Glutton for punishment. Yeah.
Yes. I believe that there's a lot of change that needs to occur. So for me, the reason why I say it is I know a lot about the business now. I don't know everything. I'm not John Forker. I know a lot about it though. And there are so many reasons why the majority fail. The same thing happens in all types of different verticals. We could be talking tech. We could just be talking ice cream shops. We could retail. Everybody, the majority fail. But if we're just talking CPG, there are a lot of reasons why it doesn't work. And I won't go into every detail, but let's just all agree it's tough. I would definitely need to have a product that I really, really, really believe in. And the reality is, as I talk often about, I don't know if it's in quote unquote packaged goods, because I have a problem. I'm facing a problem even today, and I talk openly about it. I just think there's a lot of bullshit we're selling, and it irks me. It's irked me more and more as the time has gone on, and I'm open about it. So I got to park that there too. It's layer number two. And the third one is, if there was something, you would just need to have it totally dialed in, big margin business, big. I'm not going to say a number, big. And so there's all these things. So if you were to start over today, I just want to be in the health and wellness space. I don't know where it is, what it is, how it is. I want to help people, and I want to start or at least continue to have the dialogue on a broader scale, bigger platform around health and wellness, so that we can look back and in 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it may be, I've actually left some sort of mark, something that's impactful and helped people. Because I'm just going to say, like, is it going to be I won? Like, come on, dude. People really feel like, I don't want to call it a brand or 10 brands or 100 brands. Be like, really, dude? What was it? I'm not going to say, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Like Olipop or something, right? Mm-hmm. Pop, like, I'm sorry. I think it's great. Yeah. The other, what's the Poppy? What's the other one?
Poppy. Yeah. Or, yeah, it's Poppy, right?
Right. Great. The other soda, I mean, dude, we're selling, come on, dude. Right. This is not, I think it's fantastic. We're giving more options, and they're healthier than 40 grams of sugar in Coca-Cola, but like, here, drink fucking this. And yeah, like it's sorry. Now somebody will be like, yeah, but you're drinking plastic and fine. It's just, you get what I mean. There you go. I'm sorry, Wade.
100%.
That's
no, you nailed it. You nailed it. So all right, we got our crystal ball here. A year from now, if you're writing the story, where's I1 a year from now? If you're writing the story,
it's a really good one. I pray, on top of the layering in the fact that I'm going to work really hard to achieve what I originally said, which is we got through this first launch with Whole Foods with products that I really do stand behind. Again, I'm not really a snacker, but I know everybody else is. And I want them in the hands of more people who are opting to snack no matter what. Like, I'm snacking, I got to put it in my kids' lunch. I'm at the soccer games. I'm always in the car. I'm traveling, all of that. I pray that we've proven out that we have a not only a product that works, but a few retail and or distribution points that are showing that it works. And from there, we can settle a little bit, meaning I can say, okay, now what are we going to do about all this? And I say that because it's been so hectic the last 2 years that I don't want to continue on that ride. You understand what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't. And so I'm optimistic, though, in 12 months that we have done the former. That's my answer.
Got it. All right. Well, we could keep going forever, but you've got things to do, and believe it or not, I'm going to keep working here after we get done with this thing. So we got a prize to give away. We got to talk about sponsors. So let me hit our sponsors again one more time. We'll talk about what we're going to give away. Stay tuned. If you're still here, Mark's going to hit us with something, some great tasting products from I1. So our ongoing sponsors, one more time, Range Me. They help drive brand awareness and engagement with retailers through an easy-to-use platform that has more than 15,000 buyers. Listeners can get discounts on Range Me Premium Pro subscriptions, which include benefits such as direct product submissions to retailers, access to Nielsen IQ category data, and even in-person meetings with buyers at ECRM sessions. For more details, you can scan that little QR code that you see on the screen. Mention CPG Vibes, you get a discount. That's just our way of helping you save money to grow your brand. Our other ongoing sponsor is my new company, cheap plug, V-Driven, and we're a brand incubator. We help brands grow, emerging brands. Reach out to me directly here on LinkedIn. You can hit that link there that says www.vdriven.com, schedule-a-call. We do a number of things. We do deduction management. We do accounting services. We do consulting. We do sales and brand management. You name it, we do it. We're like a Swiss Army knife for brands, and we're very reasonable considering what else is available out there in the space. So I'd love to talk to you about what we can do for your brand. So, Mark, what are we giving away? What do you want to give? I mean, I'm guessing you're going to hit somebody with this.
I'll do a variety pack, and I'll do it. How about like you can have 5 winners. Let's do it. I'll put a nice, beautiful variety pack of different snacks in there.
Wow. Okay, so that's beyond generous. So now we have to think of a question, and if we're giving 5 away, it has to be pretty easy. It has to be an easy question. What have we talked about? What's an easy question for everybody to answer?
Okay, what's an easy question
that we talked about? Something we talked about.
Okay, that's a good one.
Something we touched on during the show.
Okay, well, we can make it really easy and give you some more love, which is, who is Wade working with now?
And you know what? I love that. Let's make it, who is our CEO at the company I'm at now? How's that?
That's a good one. And so what, the first 5 people that
people that get it in the chat. Let's go.
That's a good one.
Continental US. We're not making Mark ship to overseas and Hawaii, and we're not doing that. So continental US only. So and we said our CEO. I see the company, but we want our CEO. I was going to say. See, it takes a while. Okay, there's Roberts in Canada. You don't count. Okay, hold on. We got Dan
Richard.
Yeah. All right, Alex. Hopefully you're catching these behind the scene. Alex is under the weather. My goodness. We're going to go to the tape.
Gavin, I'll hook you. Look at Will. Even Will's trying to come in here.
Say, Will's trying to get free stuff.
He's sitting there. He probably has his swim trunks on.
Well, you know what? This is probably payback. Isn't it payback? Don't everybody always giving away IQ bars? I think you're one of them.
I should have said, and I'm not going to. I already got it. I'm probably going to get a text from him.
Oh, my gosh. Continental United States. Robert. All right, Robert, we'll talk. We'll figure it out. Robert wants some. We can probably figure it out, Robert. We'll get you some. All right. So I've got to try and figure out. I got to figure out how to go back here. So if I go 5, Alex, these people need to email CPG Vibes 100. Dan Weisbach with LA Libations. Hugh Curtis.
Oh, he did it. He did it. Yeah. He
did. Richard Moniz. Gavin. How many is that? I don't know if that's 4. That's 5. Matt Gilly and Robert. That's it. Email CPG Vibes 100 and Mark will take care of you. Mark, I can't thank you enough. It's been too long. When was the last time I saw you? Was it? I don't think I saw you at Expo this year. I think it was last year, wasn't it? Did I see you at Expo this year?
I saw you at West. We ran into each other.
This year? Did we?
Okay. That's a good one.
I think it was last year. I don't think I saw you this year because I was doing my free agent thing this year. So
upstairs, right?
Yeah, excellent. Well, it's been great catching up. We need to do it more often. I don't wish Alex to be sick more often, but you and I need to catch up more often. I wish you all the luck in the world with the Feel Good Cold Plunge, the Lifting with David. Did I get that right? Lifting with David. We didn't talk about that. And I want organics, everything you're working on. You're an inspiration to many on the space. Any last plugs? Anything you gotta throw out there that we missed? We didn't hit.
I appreciate you, and I am super happy that you found something. We'll catch up on that later because you could tell me what you guys are doing. We'll do that. We'll do that separately.
Definitely. All right. I think that's it. Hopefully our producer behind the scenes, Mr. Bear, he'll be back with us next week. He'll feel better and be at the top of his game. Mark, we'll see you on LinkedIn, probably shirtless lifting this weekend or something going on there. I'm sure we'll see something. But I love you, brother. We'll catch you soon. Take care, everybody.
Later, brother.